こんにちは、Natuzziジャパンの田之内と申します。今日は非常に炎天下お暑い中、こうやってまたお忙しい中お集まりいただきまして誠にありがとうございます。Natuzziイタリアはですね、日本で40年間今まで活動させていただいておりまして、今非常に大切な岐路に立っているというふうに考えております。私どもこちらの重要な大阪万博、そしてイタリア間の素晴らしいこの発信の中で、この機会をですね、Natuzziイタリアにとって新しく日本を発見する旅、そして日本がNatuzziイタリアを新しく発見していただく旅というふうに捉えておりまして、特にNatuzziイタリアの B2B のコントラクトビジネスの強化につきまして、皆さんと一緒に、業界の中でも本当に名だたる会社の皆様と一緒にですね、このNatuzziイタリアの、旅をご説明をさせていただきたいと思います。まずは、弊社のグローバルチーフプロジェクトコントラクトオフィサーであります、パスカル・ナツジのご紹介をさせていただきます。I would like to first introduce Pascal Natuzzi. Could you go?
Good evening. Well, I am a guest here, so I guess that I will have to have the honor to introduce the ambassador, newly appointed ambassador of Italy in Japan, in Tokyo, but also the commissioner of Expo for Italy, who I believe together with the government and all the supporters of this beautiful initiative made this possible. So I'm proud and honored to introduce Mario Vattani on stage. Please.
Thank you very much. We are honored to have Pasquale Junior Natuzzi here. We're very happy to have Natuzzi as our partner. So welcome to the Italy Pavilion. I don't know how many of you have already visited the exhibits, but if you have, and when you will notice that Natuzzi is present from the very beginning of the visitor experience. And as a matter of fact, I'm not just saying this because you're here, Pasquale, but I've seen often appear on the social networks your brand, because people wait for a long time outside. We're very thankful to the Japanese public that spends many hours waiting. Luckily not under the sun, because we are just in front of the ring, so people are lucky enough to wait in the shade. But we chose to welcome the public after this wait, after the heat, to a kind of experiential space, which is refreshing. There's a perfume also in the air, and especially it's soft and welcoming, because Natuzzi, as you will see, has provided us as a partner with the seating of the theater, which is the trademark of our pavilion. So the trademark of our pavilion is the theater, and that is where the visitor meets the Italian pavilion, meets Italian culture. Now, the name of our pavilion, the answer that we chose to give to the theme of Expo, which is designing future societies for our lives, is art regenerates life. And when we say art, we're not just talking of sculpture. We have many sculptures, not paintings. We have many paintings. But it's also the action of the human on nature, the action of the human in society. And art is artigianato, of course. It's craftsmanship, it's design, and for Italy, it's made in Italy. Natuzzi is a very important brand for our Made in Italy. We celebrated Made in Italy just 2 days after the opening of Expo, because the opening of Expo was on April 13, and on April 15, we celebrated Made in Italy. with the minister, the deputy minister for Made in Italy. We have a ministry now in this government. We have a ministry which is called the Ministry of Enterprise and Made in Italy. And when we talk of craftsmanship, we're not just talking of course, our craftsmen, the people that have the know-how and the knowledge and the competence to build wonderful things like Natuzzi furniture and Natuzzi design, but this is also technology. It also is research into materials. It also is sustainability. I mean, not everyone knows that Italy is the #1 recycler in the world of furniture. In Europe, we are the first. We recycle 80% of our furniture. So this is very important today when we talk of sustainability. Now, the relevance of design and furniture today for Italy is enormous. We have 19 billion exports, and that is a very important part of our GDP. But also, and I'm very happy that Pasquale Junior Natuzzi is here, because we really need to look at the Asian market, and in particular to the Japanese market. Because, and there's an interesting point that came up, because we will be showing the Salone del Mobile. Many of you, of course, know and visit the Salone del Mobile, the Milano Salone, how they call it, Milano Sarone, as they say in Japan. Do you know that the Japanese participants, the public, went from the 20th level to the 13th in just 2 years, which means that there's a great attention from this market. Natuzzi normally has a fantastic space in the Salone del Mobile, and so you probably also noticed that there's much more attention from Japan. And I conclude, Japan is not only a market in itself, as you know, but it is a real trendsetter for the rest of Asia, because the Japanese public is known for its taste, for its attention to the environment, for its attention to design and to sustainability. And the Japanese public influences the rest of Asia at the moment, and we all know that. We feel it, we can see it by the number of Asian visitors that there are in Expo now. The world is becoming a complicated place. Some markets that were very important for us, for European countries, definitely for Italy, are not shrinking, but they are living some evolutions. And so we must look at the Asian markets. They are very important markets for us, so we're very happy that Natuzzi chose to be our partner in this operation, which is a very visible operation. So thank you very much, and I trust that we will be collaborating even after Expo. This is just a platform. It lasts 6 months, but we must make the most of it. Thank you so much, and thank you all.
Okay, can you hear me? Thank you so much, Ambassador. It's in your word lies a lot of truth. You know, we in fact took this beautiful opportunity that that the government gave us, together with the architect behind the beautiful pavilion, Maria Cucinella, with whom we collaborated in the past for another beautiful construction in south of Italy, called Casa della Pace, the Home of Peace, which was a shelter for immigrants. So this is the second experiment together. But we are here in Japan because Natuzzi in Japan has an history that has been contrasted by a lot of eventually by an unclear vision of what the Japan market really needs. in terms of styles, dimension, because it definitely has its own peculiarities. And so we also, I, together with Raffaele and Koji, took the chance to visit the market, spend some time with a well, I would say, generous and beloved possible future partner of ours, which is Oliver Group, which is a market leader in the world of contract, and with whom we are investigating ventures together. But today, you know, I stand here serving Natuzzi with pride, but also with the pride of an Italian who today really felt when we sat, we had the opportunity to visit the amphitheater, the theater where we made these beautiful seats. I really felt goosebumps, you know, to be here in Japan, which is a market, a country. It's not a market. It's a country that I love. That I spent last year 2 weeks visiting because I love the Japanese culture really, and you know, to be here again on the other side of the world, and feel the pride of being Italian. Feel the legacy of the future of the families that we represent as Natuzzi in that room as an Italian. It was a mix of emotion that really made me feel proud and honored. But like I said, I'm here today to serve also and wear the pants of the next generation of a Natuzzi in Natuzzi. My father founded this beautiful company, and today I hope I can represent the legacy, the future, together with the team that I work with, which has been a team called in our projects division that I run, that I lead, has been called to interpret the task that Expo gave us, which is a task of, as a society, as a company, to interpret how to make people's life better in the future. And this is something that we as a company do, because in the end, designing well is an act of care. Is an act of care because we do love to design well, not just as an hedonistic act, but because we want to make people's life better, right? And this is a concept that we as a company have imprinted, engraved in the rocks by actually patenting, registering this word, which is the word comfortness. And for us, comfortness is the fusion between the word comfort and wellness. So it's a way for Natuzzi to pursue a path of design and innovation meant to make people's life better. And the way we do this is, I think there is sorry to interrupt, but there is a little issue with the presentation. I don't think this is the proper one. I don't know, Marco, if you hear me.
Imagine an idyllic land that constantly basks in the sun. An oasis of beauty where every detail whispers stories of history and creativity. A sanctuary where time slows down in a world that moves frenetically. Where hospitality is a sacred tradition. Imagine a brand that has shaped its essence in this land. For 65 years, Natuzzi Italia has interpreted the peaceful atmosphere of the hill of Italy's blue, our motherland, Puglia. Sun-kissed fields and the sea that embraces its shores are our creative inspirations. And the never-ending pursuit of harmony is our obsession.
Well, this is the beauty of the live show, so I guess I will have to improvise, not knowing what slides will come next. But I mean, we prepared this presentation together, so somehow the content will be there. Anyways, I would be very happy if someone from, you know, the direction could go back to the presentation that I had before, because it's important and there is slides that I want to share. So maybe I can, leave the stage for a moment and go check. Non è questa.
Imagine an
Something is. Anyways, so the you saw from that video, we are proud not only to be Italians, but to call ourselves Apulians, Puglians, people from Puglia, which is that video that describes where is the muse that inspires us as a company, as creatives, and how special that is to nurture in us a sense of devotion for that land that transforms into an incredible creative exercise that every day runs in the creative heart of Natuzzi in Puglia and Santeramo, where my father, our team, the families that populate actually that beautiful company that I represent here today, create. And the creation that we believe in is made of details. We're really devoted to this concept of details. And as the ambassador was saying, to blend, this attention to detail with the heritage of craftsmanship that Italy has is something that really inspires us, that really motivates us. And what I was thinking of, something that really connects the two cultures of Italy and Japan, the dexterity and the attention to details is definitely something that I think connects us. Is something that two hands of an Italian craftsman from south of Italy and a Japanese master, I think, have in common, right? So this culture of project, this attention to detail, this know-how in using materials and how to elevate them is something that, once again, we want to bring in Japan with the respect that we have for you, but also with this sense of pride that we carry in once again, having the ability in Made in Italy to really make this blend, this narrative of Made in Italy, narrative of Made in Puglia, attention to detail, knowledge of materials, and do it with that special touch that I believe Italian have, and that the Japanese culture, Japanese culture and Japanese people can, I think, well embrace. So on top of it, something that I believe we do share is the love for harmony. And as a company in Natuzzi, once again, we did manage to make a lot of research in our history, in our heritage, and to understand that the Mediterranean culture has this devotion not only to our history, our heritage, but also to the sense of hospitality, of being hospitable people, or trying our best, making our best to design beautiful spaces, to design beautiful dishes, to put the artistry, the arts and craft in a place where people can actually touch them, feel them, and do it with this hospitable attention that we call Mediterranean lifestyle, all together. Now, this is something that pursues harmony, and once again, that fil rouge, that trade union, that connection between our sense of harmony and what we see in Japan as your sense of harmony is, once again, well connected, and we feel that is something that we will trace in the future together. Now, going back to Comfortness, which was the concept that we saw at the beginning, that we wanted to bring here in Expo, because once again, one of the themes of Expo, is actually how to improve life in the future, how to innovate, serving people's lives. And in Comfortness, this is what we do. It's a project that speaks sustainability, speaks innovation, but speaks wellness. and it's a sense of well-being that touches not only your body, but also your soul and your mind. Because in the concept of comfortness, this is, for instance, one of our hero model of the Comfortness collection. And it is a model called Mindful, so it gives you also the idea of how it serves the purpose as a piece of furniture, if you want to call it like that, as a design piece, actually. And this sofa has been the first patent sofa with some very peculiar functions, which are typical of all the contents that we do put into this Comfortness collection. So you can see there is a sofa that has a function, and Natuzzi has always been keen on blending design and function, once again, to improve the experience of living a piece of furniture. We believe in this idea of visual comfort. We believe in design that has to be functional and meaningful, not just because it's beautiful, but because it can serve a purpose, an additional purpose. And the function of this sofa is, of course, this triple motion. So basically, it's a sofa that where you can control digitally your posture. So you can lift the headrest, you can push the lumbar for lumbar support, you can open your footrest. So while it does that, it can reach a position that we call zero gravity position, where actually the position of your legs is higher than your hips, and it increases the body flow, the blood circulation, reaching a natural, once again, harmony for your body that actually improves cardiovascular benefits in a way. Together with it, we patented the first feature of micromobility. So one of the first, and in Expo in the Italian Pavilion, there's a whole area that is talking about aging and the aging population, right? So one of the first enemies of unhealthy aging, and now no matter you're 18 years old, 30 or 60, we all care about being healthy, staying alive in the best way possible, but for sure pursuing a healthy lifestyle and aging well. And one of the first enemies of aging unhealthy is sitting still. So if you think about it, when you're sitting still. You're not helping your body to live in a healthy ecosystem. So the feature of micromobility actually constant makes small movements. So while you're sitting, your seat will continuously move. And that is another element that we patented and that we put into the Comfortness innovations, because we know that it will improve people's life. And then to close it, on the Comfortness, together with Dr. Bark, which is a champion scientist and champion for the French government in healthy aging. So he makes a lot of research, and together with him, we patented actually Comfortness and the innovation of the Mindful model. So with him, we wanted to suggest this exercise in the function of 365, where basically 3 times a day you have to breathe make this 6 breaths per 5 minutes 3 times a day, while you're sitting and doing the micromobility function. And once again, there is another aspect that significantly reduces stress and improves your daily life. So as you can see, this idea of harmony, this idea of wellness living, of well-being, of trying to improve people's life is something that we really care about and that we thought was mission accomplished while being a partner in Expo and trying to represent the values of Expo in the best way possible. So you can see a little bit how this happens on Mindful. She seems very relaxed, I have to say. Now, the ambassador has been touching the concept of creativity, the concept of made in Italy. And for a company that has, quite a long history, 66 years of legacy I'm representing here today. The element, of course, of design, of creativity, of research and development is something very important. We have a creative lab that counts over 130 people in Puglia, where every day you have designers, colorists, interior designers, merchandisers, of course, craftsmen, prototypists, all working together to take the Natuzzi a vision of my dad, of the whole company to the next stage, to the next level. But we as a company also love the idea of creative diversity, right? So very often for a brand, it's very easy to fall to, misstep, let's say, the interpretation of the creative equation and to be looking at its own identity as a brand always in the same way. Whereas we love to hear a different voice in the creative path, right? And so there is a place, not physical, but actually virtual, that we call the Circle of Harmony, that as a concept inspires and pushes designers to put their touch on the creative DNA of Natuzzi and design together with us. So in the Circle of Harmony, these are some of the latest designers who participated to this call for action to creativity at Natuzzi, and that once again collaborate with our creative atelier, with our design center, with our style center. And together with them, we designed plenty of collection lately. These collections have won some of the best design prizes that you can think of over the last years. We can review together some of the, once again, beautiful collection that have been created, but that not only were created with the idea of evolving and elevating the Natuzzi image. This is the 2025 collection that we just presented at the Milan Design Week. But they were created with the idea of being great designs because they have great stories. And so we believe in this idea of narrative design, which is a design that we feel it's more powerful and everlasting because it does put together the inspiration, of course, into the design, the prototyping, the physical resemblance of the product itself, but then the image empowers the message even more. And all of them, they often have been briefed to these designers to be inspired by our muse Puglia, our land, in its colors, in its shapes, in its contours, in its endless inspirations, from architecture to once again, motherland and nature. And you can see some examples of how, over the last years, this has been done. For instance, Marcel Wanders, which is one of the greatest storytellers in design, thought of a character, an invented persona, which was the oceanographer, right? And the oceanographer was a person living by the sea, and his idea was living by the Italian Apulian Mediterranean Sea. And so for him, he was inspired by the fishnet and how a fishnet could, get frozen and turn into a chair. And that chair became part of a bigger image that clearly delivers the message of what was the inspiration, right? The inspiration behind the wooden coffee table inspired by a tea tag, by a the deck of a boat. The same material has been used on the table, and the chair and the sofa were inspired by the seashells. And the story goes along with other designs and other inspiration. This was the agronomist collection, so you can see how the coffee table was inspired by the farmers. By the farmers' in the act of farming with a tractor, turned into a coffee table. Last year, we did a beautiful design that won so many prizes. 5 design prizes: Best of Design for El Decor China, Best of Design for actually Red Dot Award. So many prizes, and the inspiration, wasn't Puglia, right? It was actually a samurai helmet with its diagonal opening that were replicated in the armrest of a sofa, and all the elements that you can see in the design of an helm were then brought into the physical elements in wood that cut the sofa from side to side. So, we always try to bring the narrative, the storytelling into our creative path. Now, of course, this creative path, this creative approach into product design inspired us to grow as a company from a great company that can do great designs in collaboration with designers to a company that can design and transform beautiful spaces with designer studios, with developers, with contractors, with creatives who are into, let's say, more of the development field of hospitality, of residential, of entertainment. So in Milan, we are proud to have a beautiful location and a beautiful store where this interaction, this conversation, this dynamic of collaboration with creatives, with designers, with design studios, with developers is happening. And here you can see a bit of the highlights of our Milan Design Week a few months ago, where once again the design community meets in our store, connects with us for the love of collaborating together. And this is one of the biggest hopes that I have while being here in Japan, and it's really the idea of opening up new doors of collaboration with the Japanese creative and design community. Here you see a little bit our network in the world. In Japan, we're not well covered, so the mission is to put a lot of black dots in Japan. Now, like I said, harmony, narrative, interior design, design collaboration are happening in the world of projects field, in my team, in my division, are happening with great success, I have to say. Here you can see, our first branded residential building that has been launched last October in Dubai, has been done with a developer who is one of the most successful in Dubai today. And this building is a 50 units condominium, boutique, of course, condo, where we designed the exterior, so the architecture, the interior, and we are selling, and actually the developer is selling these units. I think most of them are sold out, turnkey. So the interior design has been done by my team. But this is an opportunity, the one of branded residential, for many developers out there or studios who could be willing to collaborate with us. And in fact, it's happening in some other countries where we're actually designing towers both for the exteriors and the interiors with designers studios, with an architectural firm, for a developer. So this is a great, I think, chance to collaborate with the studio. So how does this project division work, and which type of field does it cover? So my team can serve the purpose of furnishing, designing, engineering, so supplying solution for endless possibilities of in fact, spatial design in terms of architecture, interior design, and the story goes along. So we have a procurement team that can leverage on the Natuzzi 66 years of experience in sourcing from the best craftsmen of the world, but also of manufacturing. Let's not forget we have factories in south of Italy, 5 plants in south of Italy. We have factories in China. We have factories in Brazil, in Romania. So for a partner, whether it's a hospitality firm doing a hotel or a residential project, we can source, specify, engineer and produce from our headquarters in Puglia, but leveraging on our global footprint, of our global operations, of our global network. So together with that comes a great, I would say, product engineering expertise, and of course, design solutions for a team that then supports you or supports your client with project management skills. We do this in the world of residential, we do this in the hospitality and leisure field, as well as the workplaces industry, and clearly this beautiful new chapter of the branded residential. Now, you can scale the complexity of a project going from a normal ready-to-choose solution, just sourcing from the Natuzzi catalog, as you can see here. This is a villa in Jakarta that we designed, where we supplied to the design studios simply Natuzzi, not simply, I mean, beautiful, I would say, beautiful Natuzzi collection, but belonging to the catalog. Now, we could also, working and leveraging on our catalog, we could also open up to the soft customization initiatives, where you can see this is a bar counter actually designed by Marcel Wonders, which had specific dimensions and then had specific finishings, actually metal rims, a black stone top, and then it had a lacquered wood. So from there, we've been asked to re-engineer the same bar counter, changing the dimensions, changing the finishes, changing the aesthetic, the design, and the engineering of it. We did it. It's simple. We produce it. So we designed it. We co-designed it, actually. So to redesign it and re-engineer is something that in the soft customization area we can definitely do for you. And then this is actually a project done for HBA. It's one of the biggest design firms in the world, and we did a big office in San Francisco where this cabinet had to be engineered from the blueprint to the actual prototyping and production. So we went from a third party's design into our own technical development, research and development, engineering, and production. So this is a full bespoke that we can also provide. And then we have the branded residential solutions, which are, once again, a beautiful initiative that we recently started and is showing great success. Now, clearly there is a process that has been well outlined and fine-tuned by my team, where we can go end-to-end from a feasibility study to the even after sales phase, going through, of course, all the steps of the way that a team of professionals can put in place to support you. Now, we really hope that these projects will be present in Japan. This is one of the reasons why, of course, we were proud to partner with Expo, be present here, come for this week to investigate and learn from you how new opportunities can come to life. So I thank you for the attention. I thank you for the opportunities, and that's it. Thank you.
So thank you, Pasquale, for the wonderful presentation and explanation of where we came from and what we're capable of, and the new direction that we are moving forward. Yeah, going forward from here. Okay, so you're going on to explain about these, right? No. Sorry. So these are some of the examples that we have in Italy, hospitality and restaurant projects in Italy. And these are projects and also in Venezia in Italy. This is also the same projects in Italy, and this is projects in Hungary hospitality project in Hungary. Restaurant. Sardinia Island. This is also hospitality, hotel projects in Italy. And this is a bar in Milan. And this is Casa Cipriani Milan. It's a very well-known establishment, restaurant in Milan. So we can do bespoke customization that is a totally new products designed by us for particular projects. And this is again Casa Cipriani Monte Carlo, Monaco. And this is a restaurant in Capri in Italy. Thank you. So we've explained about the new direction that we like to strengthen and our contract division emphasis in the Japanese market as well. And also our distinctive design direction that's based on narrative design. And we don't design just for the sake of design. We always have a very strong foundation as Puglia inspired brand story, and we want to really strengthen this distinctive design elements that are very different from other Italian furniture brands or other luxury furniture brands in Japan or in other markets. And so from here, we would like to go to Q&A, and if you have any questions as to what we are capable of and how we can partner with in the Japanese market. And if you have any questions, please let us know, let me know, let Pascal know so that we can answer your questions as much as well as possible. So if you have any questions, 何かご質問等ございましたらぜひお知らせいただけますとパスカラからですねご返答をさせていただきたいというふうに考えております。何かご質問ございますでしょうか。伊藤さん何かございますか。伊藤さん何かご質問等ございますか。はい。
ありがとうございました。大変貴重なお話を聞けて大変勉強になりました。夏井さんというイタリアの最大のメーカーさんになると思いますけれども、今後日本でいろいろなマーケットに展開していくことを考えられる中で、夏井ブランド、イタリアのブランドを日本で先行して展開されている他のラグジュアリーブランドとどう差別化していくか、それをどう日本で浸透させていくかっていうこれからの戦略みたいなところをもう少し聞かせていただけるとありがたいかなと思います。
はい、ありがとうございます。Pascal, do you have any information that you would like to communicate and provide to them? So if you, yeah, the question was that so now we are in a new chapter. And what are some of the elements that distinguishes us from other Italian or luxury furniture brands in Japan? And how do we want to evolve and distinguish ourselves in this, especially in this Japanese market going forward, so that we can optimize our business opportunities in Japan?
Thank you for the question. So clearly, there is a blank canvas, because Natuzzi is represented here in Japan, but clearly has no, I would say, presence that we could consider satisfying, bold, or relevant for the amount of opportunities that there are in this market. So we want to focus clearly on scaling our distribution. We have an organization here from commercial support and commercial management and leadership with Koji, but also after sales in our offices. So not to mention the regional leadership of Raffaele, who's also here with me. So in terms of organization, we are there. The distribution has to be grown. Now, if I would be a possible store partner, or someone who would have to invest in Natuzzi as a B2B, then eventually I could answer also for consumers. Why would I choose Natuzzi, right, and not some other Italian brands? Well, first of all, I think that wherever there's if one of the strongest brand, actually the brand with the highest awareness in the industry globally, isn't yet represented, for instance, with a monobrand store in Japan, I would run for opening it because the opportunity is the brand itself. But in terms of uniqueness, unique selling propositions of the brand, so we are one of the very few Manu tailors of the world. Okay, so Manu tailors means manufacturing and retail, right? We have over 250 plus Natuzzi Italia stores in the world. We have factories in Italy, China, Brazil, and Romania, but now Natuzzi Italia, of course, is only made in Italy. And we control the whole process from design thinking to analyzing trends and creating our own creative interpretation of them in our style center, and then serving these solutions through designs to the consumers of the world, controlling the whole process end to end. And we do it controlling our manufacturing, we do it sustainably. This is a great value, for a brand to stand for its identity, for its quality, for its service. It's fundamental. And not so many companies out there do really control these processes, these aspects. So for us, when we put the stamp, the logo Natuzzi on that product, there is really the value of made in Natuzzi, which is something that we're very proud of. So you would be partnering with a brand that controls the whole process end to end in a very unique way. Now, in terms of also designs, like I said before, design and function is very important for us, and that's one. And I've been touring around many furniture stores in these days, and I haven't seen in any of them high-end stores, but I know that also by fact for what other design brands do. I have not seen any brand serving solutions with functions, It was just, great designs, great names of design and architecture displayed with their creations, but there was no one to display models, designs, interior designs with functionality. And I feel that for a very innovative country like Japan, to have design solutions from a brand that actually innovates with innovative functions, designs, materials is very important. So Natuzzi is a very innovative brand. A big portion of our collection is made of functional models, and I think that there's a real hole in the Japanese market with design solutions that do leverage on this design and function. I would say. Products, merchandising. Now, the last aspect that I would touch, I think was also in my presentation, and is the aspect of this beautiful Mediterranean lifestyle identity that we have. Now, if you look at many of the Italian brands, and I do admire a lot of the work that my colleagues do with other companies, but very often it looks like everyone is trying to recreate the same image, of this Italian design. Whereas us, my father always said that wherever there's a corner, where there's an angle, we make curves. He's always been inspired by organic lines, by this idea of visual comfort. So you don't actually sit on a product, you sit in a product, right? You look at a product and you immediately realize that might be really comfortable, and then you want to sit in it, right? So this idea of visual comfort, of comfort and ergonomics that we research It's not just a sketch. We have in our style center, we have engineers that really, you know, when you look at, I've seen a lot of innovation, a lot of, you know, from space to satellites in the Italian pavilion. But it was interesting because it would have been really also nice to show from steel cutting companies, you know, it would have been really nice to also show the behind the scenes of Natuzzi, so how we actually craft our designs. And there is a lot of engineering there and a lot of research on how to, like you saw in Comfortness, improve the body posture, have the perfect angle and ergonomic in a seat, and actually achieve the best comfort. And there is also there's many companies who think that design should look nice, but not necessarily sit nice and feel nice. Whereas at Natuzzi, the concept of comfort is a religion, you know? We really care of having our customer happy because they have a piece of Natuzzi that not only looks nice, feels nice, lasts forever, but is comfortable and makes your life, you know, makes your daily life happy because you're going back home and you're relaxing in something that looks amazing but feels amazing. And so I believe that these are all elements that makes Natuzzi different and special. You know, our lately also our image, our identity of this Mediterranean Apulian lifestyle, which is actually, I don't know if any of you have ever visited Puglia, but I highly recommend you to come and visit us. It's a very magical place. It's a place where harmony is not just, you know, an inspiration, but you can actually sense it. You know, from nature to how people, you know, really want host other people, designing beautiful environments, spaces. The whole experience, the journey is harmonious, it's nice. And so for us as a brand, one of maybe the only, not maybe, the only, you know, global brand that started to develop a furniture global brand with a presence everywhere in the world, but started from Puglia. You know, my father listed the Natuzzi SPA company at the New York Stock Exchange in 1993, and we started to be global since ever. You know, 90% of our revenues is generated out of Italy. So we are a global company by nature since the beginning. You know, and we do it from Puglia to the world. So we're proud of that sense of place. And that sense of place, I think it's also something that transformed into a lifestyle of hospitality and interior design can be really special and unique for also for Japanese customer or business partners. Any other question?
すいません、大変貴重な話ありがとうございます。お話の中で、お父様が立ち上げられた、Natuzziというブランドっていうものを、グローバルブランドに、育て、それから、これからライフスタイルブランドにこう昇華させていくというようなご予定だというふうに受け取らせていただきました。今からその、ライフスタイルブランドに成長するために一番こう力を入れていかれる、ところっていうのはどういうところなのか、まず何から着手されるのかっていうところをお聞かせいただければと思います。
Thank you. So the question is how to grow the lifestyle even further. I think, you know, it's important for companies, especially creative companies, brands, to stay anyways loyal to their DNA, to their identity, to their roots, you know. So our roots are very deep, and I think I've explained where they come from and how deep and which direction they go. So I think, you know, it's very important to always stay vigilant, alive, dynamic in understanding where the market trends are going, the market needs and the customers' needs are changing, to try to pursue innovation in the safest, fastest, and healthiest way for it to be served for both, you know, your clients or your internal stakeholders. But, you know, when you, I think when you want to go too fast on being creative, you might risk to lose also the direction, you know. So if you look at the most successful brands, I think also the oldest one of the fashion industry, look at Hermes, you know. It's there since ever, and it's growing more and more, or Chanel, you know. I'm making fashion examples, but I could talk about, you know, maybe other industries, but it's the one that comes easier for me. You know, these are brands that have kept solid roots and a very rigid respect of their DNA, their identity, but slowly have found their way through a very dynamic and vibrant industry like the fashion industry to be alive, to be relevant, and to keep evolving themselves while respecting their DNA. So I think that we know what's the direction. You know, it's definitely of being a lifestyle, a brand with all the values that I described so far. And there will be, I think, always inspiration for us to innovate and to come up with new ideas and new designs, but you know, to make steps forward, but in the right direction without losing it by trying to be too creative. So a lifestyle, once you've defined it and you understood what your identity and your muse, your inspiration has to be, you know, I think you have to stay true to yourself, but of course, always go forward. So my idea of a lifestyle is the lifestyle that we are, and that we will keep on harvesting and evolving, but with respect.
ご質問いただきまして誠にありがとうございました。すべてをお答えできたどうかわからないんですけども、関連したところで何か追加してご説明を差し上げた方がいい要素がございましたら、もしよろしければ教えていただければ幸いなんですが、すべてお答えできておりますでしょうか。大丈夫ですか。はい、ありがとうございます。その他何かご質問ですとかお気づきの点ございましたらお知らせいただければありがたいんですけども、出口さんもいかがでしょうか。小口さんもいかがでしょうか。大丈夫ですか。はい、ありがとうございます。草道様、何かご質問ございますか。
はい、草道です。ありがとうございました。日本のマーケットはこれからしっかり、コントラクトを中心にやっていきたいということですけれども、夏地さんにとって何を一番大切にして日本のマーケットを、成功を収めていきたいかということと、これまでの日本に対しての考えと改めて今回、日本にしっかりやっていくぞということであれば、これからの日本に対しての思いで何か変わっていくものがあったんなら教えていただきたいと思います。
ありがとうございます。So Mr. Kusamichi wants to understand what do we want to value the most as a brand going forward, and what different directions that you want to take a path going forward. The previous path that we've taken with the knowledge that you had, and also the newest information you had, including this trip. You gained a lot of information. You saw a lot of the real life situations, and you spoke to many different people, and you gained a lot of knowledge. So based on that, those two aspects, what you value the most as a brand, and also newly accumulated information, what kind of different path do you want to take, and also knowing that we are going into the chapter of strengthening a contract business.
Well, I have to say I'm very fresh of still being here. So in a way, I think we will have to recollect all the informations that we gathered to structure, make a good diagnosis of all the information that we did to provide the most structured and appropriate solutions for you, for the market, for the brand in this market. But it has been extremely interesting to see how some brands present themselves with the same image and identity that they do cater in America or in the UK or in China and other places, and some others do try to interpret more perhaps the local trends of space constraint, of proportions and dimensions. So there is two different paths there. Perhaps us as a company, we will meet them halfway, and be doing a bit of both. Is this going to be the direction? I'm not 100% sure. Also because I'm happy and proud and lucky to share the commercial creative leadership with my father, who is still very active, with a CEO, with a great team. So we will definitely absorb all this information and try to be fast and structured to come back to Japan with a great plan and a well executed plan. I've seen distributional ideas and differences of brands who are showcased in flagship stores, brands who are present in lifestyle malls. So even there, different types of solutions. But most of all, I saw something that I knew already, to be honest, which is the great attention to details, seriousness, how professional and serious again are Japanese people about what they do. Meticulous, very, very, very focused, right? Which in a way, it's a challenge, because especially for an Italian company, creative company, we tend to have many, sometimes many ideas, to be very fast and to skip some step. Instead, it seems to be that in Japan we have not us, but in general you have to be very, very structured, very organized, very slow and steady in a way. No, and I really like it, because while it can be a challenge as a company to know that there is very high expectation when you want to operate in Japan with Japanese people for Japanese people, at the same time it's I think a great opportunity, because it could give us so many satisfactions, to work in this country. And also, I was talking to the ambassador before. I think for the contract side, there is a lot of developments here, a lot of construction, hospitality, leisure, lifestyle, from cafe to hotels. And we saw some in these days, some actually done by Oliver Group, with whom we're in fact discussing. So I do believe that also on the contract side, for the Natuzzi machine, there could be a lot of an injection of great opportunities and energy, and so fuel for our productions and our design and our projects team. So it's really a trip that is giving me so many informations and stimulus and drive to do better, but do a lot here. And hopefully that will happen also with the support of the Italian representative and authorities, that I'm sure could provide us great informations to know how to be represent Made in Italy in the best way possible too. So thank you for today. Thank you for your presence. Thank you for your patience. I hope I haven't been too too boring. I don't like to be boring, so and for sure our company is not boring. So for those who will have the chance to work with us, it will be a beautiful journey together. For those who were present for this event, thanks again for your time. Thanks to the ambassador for the and commissioner of Expo for the opportunity of partnering with with our country, out of our country. It has been an incredible journey, but also great emotions today to be here. So thanks again. We will be back in Japan for sure, and I hope that will carry the beautiful memories of today, but memories that we will build together in the future. Okay, so thank you.
会場でアペリティフを楽しんでいただく、皆様と、そしてこの後、この壮大なコンセプトのイタリアパビリオンの、作品をツアーをさせていただく